Hey, my friend, how's it going? Um, so this is really interesting. I pulled the cards. Um, all right, where do I even begin? Um, First of all, maybe I should begin to tell you that my hair is out of control. It's really humid here today, in case you didn't know. Um, when you commented on my status, it was really weird because normally, like especially recently, I've known exactly which deck I have that would be best for that person. For you, I saw one particular deck, but it didn't feel completely right either. And I could just like I was bouncing around, I was seeing different things. It just felt really uncertain, and so I had to take a second to tune in and figure out which deck I could use to most help you. And originally, it was the Archangel Tarot deck, and I was also guided to the Romance deck, which I thought was really interesting. And then I pulled your the Archangel Tarot card for you, and I found it really interesting that I was guided to the Romance deck, and this particular card came up for you, and I'll show you that in a minute. We'll go over that. And then I felt guided to flip the Archangel Tarot deck over, and that the bottom card was for you, and that was also really interesting. Um, so there's a lot of stuff that's going on in this reading that I want to go over, and um, I also felt guided to use the what is it called? Oh yeah, Night Mermaids and Dolphins deck by Dorian Virtue as well. So yeah, you must have a lot going on, my friend, because these guys, they mean business today. There's one particular theme. I don't know if you are in a relationship or not. I'm not trying to do like this huge, full crazy reading, but it is really interesting that I felt guided to the romance deck, and did not feel um, it didn't feel like it normally does when it's just for a message and then based on the cards. Anyway, so um I'm like all over the place, I'm sorry. Um so I shuffled the Archangel Tarot deck because that was the deck that I originally was guided to. And this is the first card I was referring to. This is the first card that came up. Oops, I don't know if you can see that. It is the Knight of Raphael card, and it says romantic, dramatic, poetic, introspective. And the bottom says committed romantic relationships, being swept off your feet, situations or topics that make your heart flutter. And so I thought that was really interesting because I had been guided to the romance deck, and then you get this card about romance, which is really interesting. And you get your little knight in shiny armor on his white steed. Um, and I thought that was interesting. So I wanted to look that up for you because I wanted to see if there was anything else um, in the book for you. This one feels like it's for you too, even though it's not a card I pulled. I just opened it. I just happened to open to this page, but it feels significant intuitively, so I wanted to share it with you. There's the Eight of Michael card, and the book says you can be free. You may feel as though you're trapped in your situation, but that is an illusion. You have to look past your fears and open your eyes to the opportunities. The ways to freedom may scare you due to a lack of confidence, but you can ask your angels for courage. Soon you'll find that you're much stronger than you realized. Commit to changing your circumstances and then believe in your ability to move forward. And lacking and the additional meanings, lacking confidence and one's own power, not seeing things clearly, and self-sabotage. So this one, it felt intuitively, it felt like it would be good for you, that it was something I needed to pass on to you. 8 usually deals with finances. It feels like you have a lot going on though. It's not just like one thing. But so hopefully that helps you. But I wanted to I wanted to look at the Knight of Raphael, just in case it was something else that I felt intuitively guided to in the book. It says, be prepared to be swept off your feet. Someone has the ability to bring deep emotions to the surface. That line right there, that resonates intuitively for me, which means it could be romantic and it might not be. But the fact that there is a theme here of romance is really interesting to me. This card often represents falling in love. It can also herald creative or artistic proposals and career opportunities, as well as situations or topics that make your heart flutter happily. So that's cool. Yeah. So anyway, this video is going to be a long one, and I apologize. So this was the first card for you, the Knight of Raphael. And then when I flipped over to the bottom card, you had the Three of Raphael. And that says, reasons to celebrate. A community of friends, happy announcements regarding relationships or children. So that was really interesting to me because, again, the relationship card theme is coming up. But also I found really interesting is that both of your cards, they're both Raphael. And so it seems like what Raphael represents is something that's really influential to you right now. It's something that's really relevant to what you're going through. And Raphael is the healing angel, so I'm going to have to assume that there's some sort of healing taking place, possibly something very emotional healing happening, something that causes a lot of intense emotions. Yeah, and so there's that. But this is it. They're very positive cards, though. They're very positive cards. And I do feel a sense of intense emotion. But the cards are very positive. The message itself is very positive. So that's really good. And so then I shuffled the romance deck real quick, and the card that came out was True Love. And it says, this is the romance of a lifetime, which I thought, again, was really interesting because the first 2 cards were talking about romance, romantic relationships. And now this one, is talking about true love. And this is like, you can't get any more clear than that with this deck. So I thought that was really, really interesting. So I'm looking forward to hearing your feedback on that. But so then I told you I was guided to use the Mermaids and Dolphins deck, and again, being guided to that one, the water is standing out. The water on the other one, this is all about water and mermaids. And there's water in this one, which I was guided to. I don't remember if I said that or not. So, again, a lot of emotion is what I'm being guided to and picking up on. So, then, so I was guided to this card, and this one is really funny. The morning affirmations card. I don't actually like this card. I'll be honest with you. I don't really like it, as it is. But when Spirit guides me to this card, when this card comes up, it's because the bottom here, it says stay positive, but the way I work with Spirit, this card actually means to stay positive. So that is your message for today, is to stay positive. Now, when Spirit says that, it's not like a cliche thing or like to boss us around. It's more of a reassurance and validation that things are going to improve, that this is not the end of the situation. If it still feels really crappy or intense, it's not the end. This is not it. So, yeah. And I'm also the dolphin. The dolphin seems pretty relevant to you. And this video is kind of long.